And good morning. We are here at a hangar just next to the STARS Calgary base. As you'll see behind me, there's a large crowd of people gathering. They're gathering for the arrival event for the H145 helicopter into STARS fleet. We do have a historical video clip that we're going to go to first, though.
There was one smaller company, ALC Airlift, who stepped up to the plate and said, "We'll ride with you here, and we'll do that in partnership with the manufacturer of the helicopter." It's a relatively new type of helicopter. It is configured for medical work, and we'll see if we can make it happen with you.
Greg Powell and I sat down with Alex Lang, who was the president of ALC Airlift, and negotiated with him a contract for the helicopter service that committed several thousand, if not $100,000 over the next several months to the provision of having this helicopter available. And at that time, Greg and I had no money in the bank. Probably had no money in our pockets even at the time. And here we were signing this contract with this fellow to commit to paying him this amount of money over the next 6 to 8 months.
As we began to actually transport patients and put the system in place, we were not recovering the amounts of money from the very limited Alberta Air Ambulance program that we were spending, for sure. And as a result of that, between the manufacturer, which was at that time MBB, and Alex Lang and Airlift, they were carrying us. We generated some red ink in the order of $250,000 in no time at all. And if it wasn't for their faith in the enthusiasm of the medical providers in eventually carrying the day, I don't think we'd be here today. If you look at some of the old pictures in the STARS scrapbooks, you'll see a white helicopter with the Lions emblem and Lions Air Ambulance signs on it. And that really had to do with them funding a $50,000 grant and a $50,000 loan to get us out the door and on our way, and to help some of that red ink disappear.
It was a very humble beginning, and STARS owes a great deal of gratitude to Alex Lang and his company, ALC Airlift. They carried us through the first few years.
The first helicopter, we leased the helicopter, and he had the leasing company in Pitt Meadows, BC, had this helicopter that he had a Lions logo on, which he gave to us, and it just fit perfectly because the Lions were the founders, sponsors of STARS.
Tell me a little bit, how excited are you to see the arrival of this new helicopter to the STARS fleet?
Well, I couldn't sleep last night, that's the first thing, and it's our iconic brand, and it's what the people in our region, our three provinces, are going to look up in the sky, and they own that, and so I'm very proud to be just a part of the team.
So Dennis, before you go, we have one more retro clip that we had from our archives.
STARS 1 is the most sophisticated air ambulance in the country. It has been saving lives in southern Alberta and southeastern BC for the past 3 years. The helicopter is operated by a non-profit organization called the Shock Trauma Air Rescue Society. I'm Rick Castiglione. When we return, the story of STARS 1, life and death drama in the air over southern Alberta. They are on standby 24 hours a day, responding to only the most critical calls. The small flying emergency room can be in the air within minutes of a call, going to a highway car accident, or in this case, on the way to Brooks to pick up a critically ill baby. About 25% of the patients who ride in STARS 1 are infants. Most are taken directly to the neonatal intensive care nursery at the foothills. The pilots have very little direct contact with the patients, but they do try to follow up on their condition. It is especially rewarding when they find out a patient is recovering.
It tickles your pink. You have to see some of the. We see some fairly serious stuff, and it's only human nature to find ourselves, opening up the screen and turn around and asking how he or she or whoever is doing back there.
So I got to ask, why no blue suits back then?
Oh, we were just, we didn't have the money for them then, so the guys had to buy their own white shirts.
Thank you for joining us. Our first speaker to join us represents Airbus, the manufacturer of the H145 aircraft. We'll see you arriving here shortly.
With more than 1,300 helicopters in service around the world and clocking more than 5.5 million flight hours, the H145 family has built a reputation as the most proven solution for emergency medical services. STARS has set a fantastic record, an example for EMS operations, and not only in Western Canada, but all over the country. And anyone who has had the pleasure of working closely with the team at STARS have been privy to the passion and dedication that courses through this organization. From the entire team at Airbus, thank you for your trust and for once again choosing Airbus to support your operations.
So why? Why are we replacing the fleet? So those BKs, one just flew over on their way to Invermere. There's another one sitting out on the pad. They've been a great, great, great helicopter and continue to be. But they're getting costlier to maintain and parts are harder to find, and they're 34 years old. And so the decision was made that now was the time. So Saskatchewan government was the first government to actually stand up. December of 2018, they committed to buying us an aircraft. That was followed by the Alberta government just a short time ago, a few weeks ago. And they committed to $13 million, and that money's in the bank. And then the federal government, $65 million. Wow. So we have $91 million through the door. But this is a $117 million campaign, so unfortunately not done. Still need all of your support, and just thrilled that you're all here with us today. But the reason we're standing here, then when we went to Ottawa and said, look at us, they already knew us. And they knew us because every person in this room. Our brand stands on its own. People know what we do in Western Canada. That's phenomenal. So I want to say thank you to all of you, our volunteer board of directors, but I gotta have a gigantic shout out to our people. Each and every day, whether they're answering the phone or getting in that aircraft and going to help another human being, it's our people that have made this possible. Would you please stand and join me thanking our people for all they've done?
As we celebrate the arrival of the H145, it wouldn't feel right not to take a moment to pay homage to the helicopter that's linked STARS and our history. To all the BKs currently in our fleet, this one's for you.
Hi, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to your new air ambulance vehicle. We've just introduced this vehicle in the last week or so, and it's an upgraded version of the vehicle that has been in use for the last year in the Calgary area.
This has been the aircraft for Alberta since 1985.
You know, the BK-117 is leaving an amazing legacy here.
It's been such an icon to us, just overwhelmingly successful in terms of what they've done to make us what we are. And it's soon coming to an end as they'll be put out to pasture here. So I'm going to tell you a little story about them as we move ahead here a bit, okay?
I'd like to take the opportunity to show you the loading.
To have this BK go, I think is going to be tough for some people who have been here right from the get-go.
It's like losing a good friend. It really is.
You fall in love with this aircraft very quickly.
I have a pretty soft spot for how I feel about them.
Okay, are you ready? Yes, sir. All right, let's get going.
I've flown 16 different types of helicopters in my flying career.
Here's TDP.
This helicopter, the BK-117, turned out to be the best aircraft I've ever flown. I literally love flying that aircraft. You feel like you're part of the machine. She's quick, she's powerful.
Extremely versatile.
Very robust.
Consistent.
Awesome.
It's home. It's my comfort zone.
Unbelievably reliable.
Reliable. I trust it more than the cars on the road.
The end point of every mission is to come home safe. And that's what the BK always did. Please take note of the pouches in the back of the aircraft. Inside here we have the safety card.
As I'm sure other people have stated, this is a workhorse.
A workhorse. This is the workhorse. This is the face of Stars.
Iconic.
The icon of Stars.
A beautiful sound.
Oh gosh, I know the sound.
And it's a soothing sound.
Someone's having a bad day, but they're getting the best care.
Oh, I can't help but watch. So you can't help but wonder when you look at that, did it save somebody's life? Is somebody going to go home and hug their loved one? Because that red machine and the skilled people inside it saved their life. That's what I think of when I see that red helicopter.
I've laughed in the back of that BK and I've cried.
Can you imagine the lives that have been impacted in the back of the aircraft?
It's just the perfect helicopter for flying air ambulance.
It feels like it was built for us.
Like your favorite truck, 4x4, it can go anywhere.
Unique thing about a vehicle like this is that you can put down at any time.
This thing can crawl its way in and out of some of the most amazing terrain.
You could get in her, she could take you anywhere. The tightest spot in the forest.
In mountain bowls, edge of a cliff.
River in the backcountry, perched on the side of an outcropping in the mountains.
You kind of look back and go, wow, how was that possible?
Handles itself in mountainous terrain, turbulence, weather.
Just in behind here also is sick bags for those rocky trips through the Rocky Mountains.
It's gonna be sad to see this thing not flying here anymore.
It will be quite a moment the day that this aircraft leaves.
I will miss it dearly. It's part of the crew.
I'll miss it. Don't make me cry.
It's been a privilege.
I hate to see it go, but it's time to move on and upwards.
It's tough to give up one of your favorite things. Thankfully, the new aircraft is an updated version of this.
It'll be that consistent, reliable workhorse that the BK's been.
How could it not be? It's the grown-up sister to the BK.
So it's taken us into the next generation, if you will.
As long as the aircraft that comes is red and says Stars and it's the same people in the aircraft, it's going to be accepted for sure.
Save lives is what it's about. So whatever we're in, we're just going to do it.
But not forget where we started from.
If you have any questions regarding any of the operational functions of the aircraft, please ensure that you ask your pilot. Thank you.
I get a chill every time I get up in the morning and go home. It still works for me. And I don't know anybody can say that about what they do for a living. So it's been pretty special. And thank you very much to my colleagues. It's just fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look out here we go. Your new H145.
So you know what, folks, I think we'll get started. Thank you for joining us. Welcome and good morning. The big news is that we're moving forward with our fleet replacement. We've chosen an aircraft. It's the Airbus H145. Very similar in look and feel to the BK-117. There's been lots and lots of work been going into fleet renewal and fleet replacement. Some of our initial training will occur in Europe. So Scott will be taking a team to Germany. medical interior that was chosen is Aerolite. It's a clip-in, clip-out interior with the intent that it's scalable and changeable for the future. Today, STARS has taken one little baby step, but we've also taken a huge, gigantic step for the long-term sustainability of this organization. How could we start with anyone else other than our founder? Please put your hands together for Dr. Greg Powell. Absolutely. We started this organization. I can't even look at him. That's not fair. Because of people. And we think it's entirely appropriate that the very first patient we ever flew in 1985 was on that aircraft. It's my honor to introduce you to Kelly Waldron. We have a volunteer board of directors, everybody knows, and both our board chairs were on that flight, Mr. Doug Ramsey and Mr. Dino DeLuca. Please wave, guys. Taking charge in Alberta is going to be Mr. Dave Mowat. I think most of you know him. He used to run ATB, and he was on our board for 7 years. He's a great guy. He couldn't be here today, but we know he's here with us in spirit. Danny Cugnett, standing behind me. Wave, Danny. Danny's leading up our fundraising in Saskatchewan for us, and we're just thrilled to have you, Dan. Thanks for being with us. Lionel Robbins, Lionel, wave, is the guy in charge of the whole, full steam ahead, was faster than the speeding bullet, this guy, leading the charge out of Grand Prairie. We're thrilled to have you here, Lionel. Thank you. We have someone taking over for Doug. That's why I said thank you. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here, but we got him to record a few words to say hello and how thrilled he is to join us.
Here in Saskatchewan and across Western Canada, the sight of a Red Stars helicopter in the sky is one familiar to all of us. When a life is on the line, it's a beacon of hope for those in their hour of greatest need. Stars began in 1985 with a single idea that one life lost is one too many. More than 30 years and 40,000 missions later, this nonprofit helicopter air ambulance service is a crucial link in the emergency system. One of the first things our government did was to help bring STARS to Saskatchewan with operating dollar support. STARS was a needed addition to our emergency response network. You just need to talk to one patient cared for by STARS to know how important this life-saving service is. STARS' aging aircraft are in need of replacing, and as a non-profit charity, STARS requires support to renew its fleet. As you may have heard, STARS has already received vital support from governments, which will go a long way towards completing its helicopter fleet renewal. But the project is not done yet, and more funding is needed to help get us over the finish line. That's why I'm happy to announce that I'm volunteering my time as chair of the STARS Fleet Renewal Campaign, so I can help do my part to hopefully make a difference, to ensure that STARS continues to be there for generations to come. If you're interested in learning more about the STARS Fleet Renewal Project, please visit stars.ca.
So John, can you show us the front of that bird?
I'd be happy to. If you follow me, I'll open the door and you can take a look right here. It's a fantastic helicopter. It's got, not the least of which is, it's got a 4-axis dual autopilot, HTAWs, a helicopter terrain avoidance warning system, as well as a TCAS system. It really is a fantastic helicopter. The best thing about it is, by virtue of the 4-axis autopilot, we're able to allow our crews a whole increased level of situational awareness and safety. And with that, over to you, Greg.
So welcome to everyone here. I'm excited to show you the back of the 145. So one of the things that we really wanted to make sure is that we stood tight to our guiding principles, ensure that we had good airway management, which we do. We have excellent access here, great access to the patient, and this helicopter is really future-proofed in terms of new technology down the road. There's no lifting involved in this stretcher, slides out, the weight's transferred onto the wheels, and then you're able to just take the patient out in one completed unit, transfer them into the hospital, so it does improve our efficiency and the ability to maintain patient safety.
My name's Kelly Waldron, and I'm STARS' very first VIP, and what VIP means is very important patient. My mom was pregnant with twins, and she went into labor at 27 weeks gestation. Lethbridge wasn't equipped to deal with premature twins at the time, so we had to get to Calgary as fast as possible. So that's when STARS came to get me. Just from the stories I've heard, without a doubt, I don't think I'd be here. Dr. Powell came up with a brilliant idea to be able to get critically injured people to a hospital faster than they needed it. I never pass up an opportunity to see Greg and Linda. They are my second family.
Hello.
How are you guys?
So you didn't know the stars dropping?
No, I didn't.
You know something about the aviation world, and I don't know if you realize, but each aircraft in Canada starts with a CG usually. And the last 3 letters are the identifier. And that one was a big surprise to me many years ago. You see the initials on there?
Oh, like Gregory Powell.
Yeah, that's you.
It was a surprise by the pilots. He didn't know what was happening.
Wow, that's cool.
So we
Now
have
I'd like you to
something to
open this.
present to you, as we have to replace the fleet over the next couple of years.
Wow.
And who do you think that is?
That would be me.
So Kelly, this is the first helicopter in our new fleet, and it will always be known as KLY after you.
That is a real honor. Thank you so much. That is such an honor.
So this is transformational for STARS.
Oh my goodness.
It's a huge part of our ongoing legacy.
Yeah.
And our roots.
This has a lot to do with the wonderful support your family's offered over the last 34 years. And,
you bet.
You get a good feeling when you see the helicopter, even though you know somebody's in there because they're desperately in critical care.
Yeah.
But you get a good feeling knowing that they're getting to the care they need too.
I'm so fortunate to have been this, and it's just, I can't believe that they're even just doing that. Like, I don't feel like I deserve that.
Of course you do.
This is very special.
I'm so happy I got to know both of you.
Yeah.
You're
part of our family.
Oh, you'll always be in my family.
So Kelly, thank you for joining us here today. It's always good to see you and your lovely family. You know, we're so honored because it is a significant milestone for us, and you being here with us is so significant, so thank you. As you saw on the registration mark, the helicopter is KLY. The other H145 that landed has another significant registration mark, which is actually LCI. LCI stands for Lions Club International, and this registration mark is a nod to the pioneering community that partnered with us in the early days, if you remember from that vintage video. In fact, you saw it was actually white, and the Lions Club holds a very special role in our history. And I'm looking at Art, I know there's many. So we felt it was very fitting registration for the other helicopter to wear. So in the future, we will recognize the Lions Club But since many line members are here in attendance, I wanted to draw special attention to that. And please, a round of applause for the Lions Club. So to everyone at STARS, our allies in the community who made this possible, thank you. Today's program is more than just a celebration of the arrival of the H145. It's our way of saying thank you to each and every one of you. Your dedication, commitment, and support is unbelievable. On behalf of everyone at STARS, a tremendous, unbelievable thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you. And I just turned my page, which means we're done. Hallelujah. Enjoy the rest of the morning.